For 40 years, Toyota held the 4Runner back, kept it simple, kept it humble, saved its best ideas for someday. Someday just arrived. This is the 2027 Toyota 4Runner TRD, and it is everything the legend was always capable of becoming: huge, blacked out, armored for the wild, and carrying a rear cabin so rich it belongs in a limousine. Toyota did not change the 4Runner. Toyota finally let it off the leash. This is the 2027 Toyota 4Runner TRD SUV, and the world's most extreme machines get the premium breakdown they deserve. If this is your kind of content, hit like, subscribe, and tell me where you are watching from. Now let us get into it. Before you look at anything else on this SUV, look at the front, because this is where TRD completely lost its mind, and I mean that in the best possible way. Look at that grille. That is not a normal Toyota grille. That is a massive black wall with Toyota spelled across it in huge white heritage letters, the kind of face you only expect on a desert race SUV. The headlights are slim, multi-element LED blades that burn bright even in daylight, and they give this tall face a stare that feels almost predatory, like the SUV is deciding whether the road ahead is worth its time. The bumper underneath is thick and functional, with two bright red tow hooks sticking out like warnings above a wide aluminum skid plate. And then you step back and take in the whole stance. The wide black fender flares, the chunky off-road tires that look ready for a desert, not a school run, the dark wheels with the Toyota emblem in the center, the full-length roof rack up top. A Wrangler looks fun, a Bronco looks retro. This one looks like it was built for a job nobody else wanted. And we have not even reached the best part yet. Most SUVs get boring from behind. This one does the exact opposite, and it does it loudly. Walk around the back and the Toyota identity takes over completely. That huge tailgate does not carry a small badge. It carries Toyota stretched across the entire panel in thick silver letters, framed by tall red LED taillights that make the body look even wider than it already is. TRD badges sit on the glass and on the rear fenders. This is not subtle. This is a nameplate announcing itself to every car behind it. Down low, two more bright red recovery hooks hang under the bumper, sitting beside another aluminum skid plate because Toyota clearly expects this thing to get stuck somewhere interesting. The roof rack rails run the full length of the body, ready for tents, fuel cans, or a very ambitious weekend. And count the windows as your eyes move forward, because this long boxy body just keeps going, like a full-size expedition wagon wearing a TRD uniform. And this rear is basically a promise. Because a machine this ready for punishment, this loaded with hooks and racks and armor, should have an interior made of rubber and hard plastic. So let us open the door, and this is where the entire story flips upside down. The front cabin does not feel like a punishment room at all. It feels like a cockpit built by someone who actually drives. Gray leather on every seat, stitched in sharp red thread, with red accent lines cutting across the dashboard and framing the center vents. Two wide screens sit side by side, one for the driver, one for navigation and everything else, glowing clean and modern against the gray. The chunky center console sits loaded with real physical controls, actual switches, actual dials, drive mode selectors you can work with gloves on. A solid grab handle waits on the passenger side, because Toyota knows exactly what kind of roads this cockpit is going to see. Nothing in here is delicate. Nothing is for show. This is a workspace, built to be used hard and wiped clean after. But the front seats are not the reason this SUV exists. The rear is. Open the back door and you do not find a bench. You find two individual reclining chairs wrapped in soft light gray leather, pleated and stitched like furniture from a private lounge, each one carrying the Toyota emblem embroidered into the headrest. Real wood trim flows across the door panels. An entertainment screen stands mounted on each seat back. Between the chairs, a full center console rises with its own touch control panel, and above everything, a panoramic glass roof pours light through a soft suede headliner. Sink into one of those chairs and you forget completely that the body wrapped around you is wearing mud tires and recovery hooks. The last time I saw a rear cabin like this from Toyota, it had a Century badge on it. That is the magic trick. Knobby rubber below, first class above, a desert racer and a limousine in the same vehicle. And that contrast is the whole identity of this 4Runner. It is not trying to be tough and comfortable. It is trying to be unstoppable and pampered at the same time. Now, a machine living two lives like this needs the engineering to back both of them, because presence without capability is just decoration. Under the hood, expect Toyota's hybrid assisted power, because instant electric torque is exactly what you want when the tires are clawing up a rock face, and quiet, smooth cruising is exactly what those rear passengers expect on the highway. Adaptive suspension to keep the tall body calm, terrain modes, crawl control, a locking rear differential for when things get serious, and with fenders this wide, the 360-degree cameras and full safety suite are not luxury features. On something this size, they are survival equipment. And then there is the cost of actually living with it, and this is where Toyota quietly embarrasses every luxury brand on the road. A Defender or a Maybach punishes you every single month. Expensive parts, expensive service, expensive everything. This SUV does the opposite. Hybrid power keeps fuel bills reasonable for something this size. Parts are everywhere. Any mechanic in any town can work on a Toyota, and insurance sits in normal SUV territory, not exotic territory. The only real money eaters are those big off-road tires when they wear down. And honestly, that is a bill worth smiling about, which brings us to the fight. And this is a strange fight, because this 4Runner does not really have a direct rival. The Wrangler gives you open-air freedom, but not this comfort. The Bronco gives you retro cool, but it would never dare put wood trim and reclining chairs in the back. The Defender owns the Expedition image, at a price that stings every single month. Toyota did something none of them attempted. They took their toughest badge and built their softest cabin inside it. Different floor, different building entirely. Now let us talk about the money, because this is the part that actually matters to most of us watching. A SUV like this 4Runner TRD would land somewhere around $80,000 fully loaded. And I know exactly what that number does to you, because it does the same thing to me. For some of you, that is doable. For a lot of us, that is a serious stretch, the kind of number you have to plan for, save for, and think about at night. So, let us be honest with each other for a second, the way friends talk, not the way a salesman talks. If you work hard, save carefully, and could stretch to reach this number, should you? And here is my honest answer. If this SUV would actually get used, towing, camping, road trips, 15 years of hard ownership, then this is one of the rare vehicles where stretching can genuinely make sense. Because 4Runners famously refuse to lose value. This is not a luxury badge that burns half its price in 5 years. Toyota SUVs hold their money like a savings account wearing mud tires. You are not spending $80,000. You are parking most of it. But, and this part matters, if you never leave pavement, if this thing would just sit in a parking lot looking tough, or if reaching that number means emptying the safety net your family sleeps on, then this exact SUV was built for someone else. A standard 4Runner, or a clean used one, gives you most of this feeling with none of that pressure. Same badge, same reliability, no shame in it, and that is the real test here, not can you afford it, but would you actually use what you are paying for? If the answer is yes, this might be the smartest stretch in the entire SUV world. If the answer is no, there is no shame in admiring it from right where you are. So here is where I land. The 2027 Toyota 4Runner TRD SUV makes almost no logical sense, and that is precisely why it is unforgettable. It is a mud-covered war machine wearing a first-class cabin. It is a desert racer that tucks you in. It should not work, and yet you cannot stop looking at it. But now I want your honest opinion. Did Toyota just build the perfect one SUV for everything machine? Or did they take the 4Runner somewhere it was never meant to go? And be honest with me, if this was in your driveway tomorrow, would you keep it showroom clean? Or drive it straight into the mud where it belongs? Comment below, because I really want to discuss this monster with you.